All right, lesson 9.3 is on page 213 in your grammar book. It deals with agreement problems in sentences. It's a pretty short lesson. Here's the idea. Some sentences can be tricky when determining agreement. This lesson will give some tips for choosing the correct verb form. You will need your book out because I didn't include the chart. I will go over it though. So see page 213 as I review the charts with you. A subject can follow a verb or part of a verb phrase in a question, a sentence beginning with here or there, or a sentence in which an adjective, an adverb, or a phrase is placed first. So what this is saying is if you don't have your basic sentence, it can be hard to determine if subjects and verbs agree or how to make them agree. For example, a question. If the subject is in an unusual position. So if you have a question, for an example, does birth order shape personality? The next type of sentence would be a sentence beginning with here or there. Here are some famous firstborns with successful careers. The next type of question is sentence beginning with a phrase. From years of study come our ideas about birth order. So if you don't have your book, you might want to stop and go back and listen to that again. But this is going to talk about how to choose the correct verb. Here are some ways to do that. There are tips. The first thing you're going to want to do is turn the sentence around and put the subject before the verb. Number two, determine whether the subject is a singular or plural. You're talking about one or more than one. And then make sure the subject and verb agree. So is or are lastborns more rebellious than middle children? So the first thing you do is turn the sentence around by putting the subject before the verb. I'm going back over the question. So put the subject first. Lastborns is or are more rebellious than middle children. Determine whether the subject is singular or plural. Lastborns is going to be plural. We're talking about more than one. And then number three, make sure the subject and the verb agree. So we are going to say that lastborns are more rebellious than middle children. So going back to the question, you would say, are lastborns more rebellious than middle children? The next thing we're going to talk about are predicate nouns. So in a sentence containing a predicate noun, the verb should agree with the subject, not the predicate noun. There are a couple examples. One interesting topic is dreams and their meaning. We're looking at the word topic. Topic needs to agree with the verb is, which it does. The predicate noun then comes after the verb because this is where the predicate starts. So what this means is the predicate noun would be dream and meaning. So don't worry about that. We're just looking at the subject, which is topic. Prepositional phrases. The subject of a verb is never found in the prepositional phrase. Watch out for words that come between a subject and a verb, though. Okay, so example, this book by two psychologists describes personality traits. By two psychologists, you could get rid of, right? It would read, this book describes personality traits. So what is our subject? It's not psychologists, it's book. Okay, and then you need, a book is singular, so you need a singular verb, which would be describes. Hopefully you can see how that could be confusing. If you're thinking that it's this, psychologists, then you would probably be thinking, well, this should be describe. But we're talking about the book, which is singular, describes is singular. So let's practice. Correct the problems with subject-verb agreement. Write the correct verb. If it's already correct, write the word correct. There are only 4. We'll talk about this more in class tomorrow. Have a great night.